It's time for the show. I don't know what the show is called, but it's time for it. This is an excellent jingle. Hello. We have a Timony. We have a Timony. Look at the baby boy. Timony Cricket. Hi, Leo. Puggy. Puggy. Am I going by Puggy now? Timony Cricket is being such a good baby boy. Hang on, let me move this down just a little bit. There we go. Oh, hello. Oh, what a good boy. What a good boy. Such a good kitten. Oh. He knows I'm talking about him. Hi. Hi, baby boy. Yes, you're a very good kitty. You just go ahead and clean yourself and have a nap. Hey, cat, welcome. We're doing moon nails today. Hey, Sass. We're doing moon nails today because of the horrors and how I need to distract myself from the horrors and look at nice things instead. There's like lint on my, and by lint I mean fur. There's fur on my mat here. A combination of human and cat. Even though I literally just wiped it. How's everybody doing? Yeah, it's Cricket bath time. It's Cricket bath time. Because he's a very clean boy. I briefly had Jammy and Budgie both in here earlier, but they decided that they needed to leave, so I just closed the bedroom door and let Timony up. You watched the NASA stream, you were in awe and super duper stressed at the same time. You mean the launch stream? Because they've been doing like little streams, like daily streams, right? And like little videos and stuff. But yeah, it is it is very stressful. I mean, there's no such thing as a launch that isn't wildly stressful, but a crewed launch is extra. But incredible. I believe they are officially on their way back at this point. I think they passed the midway point of their the orbiting stream. Gotcha. Yeah, it's hard not to be afraid of that, you know? But I think, yeah. There are certain parts of the process that are more dangerous than others. And things can go wrong at any stage, but there's certain stages that are, you know, more likely for things to go wrong. And that's not one of them. So, thankfully, slightly less stressful at that stage, but yeah. But we're gonna paint. I was thinking the moon, obviously, and then like probably a little orbiter, little capsule coming around the moon. And then Ray, who. It was Ray, wasn't it? Ray that requested it was Ray requested we have Artemis the cat from Sailor Moon be also somehow included in the Manny, and I think that's fine. Yeah, the eclipse was very cool. And the thing with naming the bright spot, Carol, was, of course, tear-inducing, I think, for everyone. Yeah. There's one of the really fun and frustrating things about all of it has been being forced to notice again. Not that there's been any lack of opportunity to notice, but being forced once again to reckon with the number of people who truly don't have even the most rudimentary education that you would expect people to have by like grade 4 or 5. And I know there's a lot of bot activity, and I know there's a lot of trolls, but unfortunately there's also a lot of people that genuinely have some wild thoughts about space and the moon. But you know, around here we love science. I've got my astronaut climbing a strand of DNA t-shirt on today. Here it is. So we're gonna, yeah, they are not in fact smarter than a 5th grader. It's so true. So we're gonna do some nails. The first decision that we need to make is going to be, and I'm going to start a poll right away. We're going to do, hey, bow and arrows, welcome. We're going to do, for the background, creme, black creme, sparkly, not sparkly, sparkly, or creme with topper. Let's say creme with hollow topper, or creme with reflect topper. Okay, so I'm just going to explain these options before I hit go on this. The options are going to be creme, this is for the background of the mani, just a black creme, a black sparkly, which is, this is Wildflower Shattered from before they transitioned to Royal Lee. And I did get this one as PR. This is like a crushed hollow formula. And then the next option would be creme with a scattered hollow topper, or creme with a reflective hollow topper. Okay, so I'm going to start the poll here. And if the lurkers, if you're able to reach over and just, you don't have to say anything, you can just put your vote there. Hey, JJ, and hello, Jules. Welcome, welcome. If you can all just go ahead and vote on your choice for the background for this mani. Why is my my other account that's there we are. It was just super delayed. Holy heck. I wasn't getting the poll. The poll was not coming up. I'm gonna wait for a little bit. I think we've got most people have voted, but we do have a tie currently between sparkly and a creme with reflect topper. If we end up with a tie, then I am going to just choose, because one of these options is a lot easier to clean up off my fingies. Okay. It looks like we are stuck on that tie. So I am going to go with the sparkly. Maybe I'll put a reflective topper on it anyway. But I'm going to end the poll there. And we're going to go ahead and do the sparkly base because my vote counts extra. And the only reason I'm doing the sparkly base instead of the creme base is honestly because it is easier to clean up. So we'll just start with that. And if y'all have ideas about specific elements that you think should be in this mani, or like, what sort of view you think would be cool, you can pop those in the chat. And if you don't, you can just talk amongst yourselves or admire the tiny Timony sleeping in the cat cam. You would flip your hollow topper vote to sparkly. Well, it's thanks to the stream delay. It's already decided. Love stream delay. It gives me the ultimate excuse to do whatever I feel like doing while also making it seem like it's a democracy. The crater they named for Carol. So that's a teensy tiny little bright spot that I think might be too small to show. But actually the other thing is that's on the other side of the moon, isn't it? Is it? I think that's on the far side. Am I remembering that correctly? The delay is intense today. Yeah. Yeah, so not to say that I can't do the far side. I just would have to find a different reference image. Tiny alien head taking a peek out of my cuticle. I mean, that could be Artemis the cat. I think she's technically an alien, isn't she? They're not normal ass Earth cats, I'll tell you that much. Oh, it's on the cusp of the dark and light side. I saw someone asking how they were able to see details on the far side of the moon when it's supposed to be the dark side. And like, I don't want to be mean to anybody who just doesn't understand things and is trying to understand them, but this is one of those things where this is a misunderstanding that is a direct result of the language that we use. Because we call it the dark side of the moon, people think it's dark all the time. We should really just call it the far side of the moon, because I feel like that is less confusing for people. The microphone they left floating while there was dead silence on the call with the president. Imagining the magnetic snow globes as an astronaut helmet. Oh, that could be fun. Maybe I should put Artemis in an astronaut helmet. Let me see. I'm just looking up reference images. Oh my God. Of course, there's got to be a screenshot of that somewhere, right? There's not like a good screenshot. There's not a good screenshot of the microphone floating. But it is a fairly standard looking microphone. So I could just have a microphone floating in space. That could work. The craters on the moon being in the shape of a paw print. They don't realize that it rotates like our Earth does. I don't think a lot of people have ever really spent any time thinking about the rotation of objects in space, to be honest. And I think that's reasonable, right? Like if you've never really spent any time thinking about it, then it's not necessarily obvious, especially if your education system has failed you or if you have just forgotten everything that you learned. But also, I do think that we have developed an unfortunate habit of asking the internet or now ChatGPT for answers before spending 20 seconds thinking about it, and also asking people on social media before looking things up. Hey Menma, welcome. Yeah, no, I agree with you that it would be great if people would look things up. In the defense of the person who I saw, at least, asking how they got a photo of the dark side of the moon, if it's supposed to be dark all the time, how it's lit up. They didn't seem to be making any declarations. They seemed to be genuinely confused. You got auto-modded? I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't think I have any control over that. I think that might be your own personal settings, but I don't know. Does anybody know if I have control over that? I don't know how anything works. Thinking about space too deep makes you want to throw up. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I figured you said... apparently I'm allowed to say fuck, but you're not. Can I... Is that a thing? I'm trying to see if there's a way that I can change that. Oh, also a reminder that that the chat defaults to to top messages instead of all messages, FYI. Please show me moderation activity. Moderation activity will be shown. Okay. I mean, I don't know if that helps me at all. Community moderation. Oh boy, that's a whole other thing. Messages in your live chat. It says moderation none. So I don't think that it's on my end, Cat. But I don't know. Yeah, social media has absolutely become a news source. And like to some extent that can make some sense, right? Like there are lots of things like if you make an effort to follow, scientists and journalists who have a good track record, then it can be a very useful news source. And I certainly have used used the internet that way, and social media that way, because I have, not on my current Nail account, but like on Blue Sky and stuff. And back when in the Twitter days, I used to follow almost exclusively scientists. And so, yeah, I would get a ton of news from social media. But you do have to, like, if you're following anybody who's sort of clickbaity or sensationalist or appealing to emotional stuff, you do actually need to double check that they have their facts right. Yeah, you have to ensure that the source is a reasonable source. You can't just rely on random influencers. Yeah, like their aunt makes a post and they take it as a fact. That's not that's not reasonable. Unless your aunt is a journalist or a scientist who is, well regarded and has a good track record. If your aunt is actually an expert in the area that she's talking about, by all means, go ahead and just believe her. My aunt doesn't really make a lot of posts in her field of expertise. The one aunt that I have that's on social media that I know about. God, I love this polish so much. Y'all can't see the hollow so easily, I think, but it's really good. We are going to top coat before we move on to the next step, because of course we are. Okay. And then I got to figure out where all these elements are going to go. I'm thinking maybe Artemis the cat on my thumbnail. Maybe just like floating in a little spacesuit. Ray requested that, and I don't see her in chat. Yeah, it's an old wildflower from before they rebranded to Royal Lee. It was a polish that the collection is all crushed hollows. And I will forever be sad that I did not get a backup of this. When I got it in PR, it was really good and I liked it, but I didn't realize how much I would come to rely on it for Space Manis as a base. And I'm now probably 2/3, well, 1/2, definitely at least a halfway through it at this point. And I'm going to be very sad when it disappears. It's called Shattered from the Jeweled collection. So if anybody wants a really good, it's like almost a one coater. And if I'm putting toppers over it, I often do it in a single coat. But you know, I'll do a second coat if it's going to be the main background that isn't covered by anything else for large chunks of it. But yeah, if you can find it in a destash, although I can't imagine why anyone would destash it. You have a lapzane. That's exciting. Okay, yeah. So I'm thinking Artemis the cat in astronaut gear on this nail, and then maybe do like, do we want to do like the moon kind of over two nails? Just do like a section of the moon, so it's kind of seems like it's big. I could do the moon like over these three nails, like a little bit on this nail, most of this nail, and completely over this nail. You know what I mean? So it's like this. Could do the moon like that, and then have Artemis, the actual orbiter, like over here on the index. I feel like that would work well. I think I kind of like that idea. Although that makes it a little bit silly that I painted my pinky, but this is one of the things that happens if you refuse to plan your manis ahead of time before actually starting them. Ray, you're here. Hello, welcome. Big moon idea is cool. It'd be like looking out the window. The other option might be to do the moon like a little smaller over just like two nails, and then have like the earth in the distance on the pinky. Or have it, you know, over a little bit of three nails and have a little earth rise over the horizon. So a lot of options. Should I poll? Maybe I should poll. Let's see. Let's poll big moon plus orbiter. Smaller moon plus earth rise plus orbiter. Or small moon plus earth plus microphone. There we go. So if we did big moon plus orbiter, orbiter would be here. Big moon would be across these fingers here. If we do smaller moon plus earthrise plus orbiter, orbiter is still here. Smaller moon is here. Here. And then earthrise would be like up here or something. And then if we did small moon plus earth plus microphone, it could be like the moon and then the earth over here, like maybe one per nail, like the moon and then the earth, maybe have the microphone floating in between them. We could even have still the orbiter over there. Why microphone? Because because of a suggestion. Where was it? Who suggested that? There was a thing where they left the microphone hanging, like floating in dead silence on the call with the president. Oh, it was bow and arrows. That's my microphone. Menma, the whole idea is that we're doing a Manny inspired by the current mission to orbit the moon, which is now on its way back. I didn't bring my water with me. Damn it. I'm seeing a lot of support for smaller moon plus Earthrise plus orbiter. Okay. It looks like that might be the choice. There's a few people that haven't voted yet, though. No matter what, I think the thumb is going to be Artemis the Sailor Moon Cat, possibly in a spacesuit. Or at least a helmet. All right. I am going to end the poll. I don't want to actually click the end button until there's some of the stream delay has passed. I wish there was a good way for me to tell, like, when the delay happens. Like how long the delay is. The only thing I can do is do something weird. Woo! On screen. Okay, so it looks like it's close to a minute. Maybe more like 30 seconds. Okay, I'm going to end the poll. What has passed now, Ray? The orbiter? The capsule? Past the moon, you mean? Or are you talking about something on the stream? Yeah, the delay, it doesn't help for you to tell me about the delay because there's a delay in you seeing it and then there's a delay in you responding. So it and a delay in however long it takes you to type the words and hit enter. So yeah. All right. So let's get, the other thing is, I guess if we're doing it that way, we need the far side of the moon. So we do need an image of the far side of the moon. So let's see if we can pull up a good image of the far side of the moon. Oh, it's weird looking. Okay, here we go. It just seems, it seems so weird. It looks so weird. Because we're so used to seeing the moon the way we're used to seeing it. But that's what the far side of the moon apparently looks like, which is crazy pants to me. So I think we'll start with the mid gray, which I'm going to use Starly Crater because it just seems appropriate. And we'll do maybe over 3. No, maybe. trying to think how big I want to do it and where I want the Earth to be, because the Earth is going to be like pretty small. I feel like it'll work best if it's like a little bit across 3 nails. I know y'all love it when I rough shit in and it looks like absolute dog vomit. All right. This is going to be Le Moon. She's beautiful. Now, let's tidy her up a little. Kitty has settled and now you are stuck, reclined. I'm sure that you are not suffering too much. I am confident that you will be okay. All right, so we're just gonna clean up the edge a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect because, of course, I don't know if you've noticed this about the moon, but she cratered. All right, do you look roundish? You kind of look like you could be round. If I hold my fingies the right way, you look like you could be round. You do need to work a bit, but you can't reach your mouth, or your mouth, your mouse. You probably can't reach your mouth either very easily if the cat's settled on your actual arms. But I guess it depends on where Zane's settled down. Okay, so we are going to require some white mixed in here for some parts of this. You heard they also observed colors this time, like brown and green. Interesting. Presumably various metals that have reacted with this or that. I have not been closely watching. Oh, I didn't realize Zane was on antibiotics. What's that for? Is he okay? I assume he's at least somewhat okay. All right, I'm going to try using a little fan brush to just kind of blue. You know what I mean? That was sort of English-ish. English. I'm just kind of, because I don't really want to spend a buttload of time trying to render each individual crater. I think I just kind of want to get it sort of vaguely like, yes, this person has attempted to look at a picture of the moon recently. You know what I mean? Oop, that was a little too bright, I think. Okay. Ear infection. Aw, poor sweetie. Okay. Peggy, you're going to get stringy. You are already getting stringy. Stop while you're ahead. Give it a rest. You can add more details later. Your husband's had the live stream up since they left Earth? Yeah. Yeah, seriously. The easiest medicines that I've encountered are the ones that have like literally no flavor, and you can put them in with like a churu or something and just mix them in and it's fine, which my grand kitty has one of those that she takes. Or the ones that you can just like rub into their ear, as long as they don't mind having their ears rubbed. That's not so bad. But there's not that many that are gonna qualify for one of those two options. Okay, so there's the base of our moon. Zane doesn't like churu. That sucks. That does make it more difficult. Let's rough in our little orbiter now. Let's see. I grabbed a few. These are obviously not all. These are like a bunch of renders, and then that's a real photo. But this is obviously a render. I feel like I want to take this one. Oh, hello. Let's try this. And this is going to go out here on this now. Yeah, all of my babies love churu, thankfully, which makes life much easier. They're all very into it. Everybody except Cinna likes crunchy treats as well. But Cinna does not give a crap about crunchy treats. She's like, why? What is the point of this? It's so funny. I've had other cats that were like, you know, former street cats. And most of them have been pretty food motivated. And that cat is the least food motivated cat I've ever met in my entire freaking life. Like, it's wild to me. She has absolutely no interest in treats of any kind. She does like the churus, but she's not like, she doesn't go nuts for them. She's just like, oh, this seems tasty. Okay, sure, I'll have a little. But not to the extent where, you know, you're going to be able to train her to do anything with them. And she doesn't like crunchy treats. She's just like, she's met on wet food in general. Like, she'll have a little bit of it. She's happy to have a few licks of wet food, but she leaves at least half the bowl every time for somebody else to clean up. It's very weird to me. Okay. And then this is going to have solar panels out that way, solar panels out this way, and then down here and over here. Okay. Howdy ho. Oh, we're saying howdy ho to Yanelli. Hello, welcome. Jimmy goes crazy for this pill wrap paste stuff we got that's bacon flavored, meant for dogs, but he don't care. You know what? There are plenty of things that cats will be happy to eat that are supposedly for dogs. Your cat has been showing signs that he might be able to do tricks for churros and other treats. Ooh, that's pretty good. We taught Timony the other day how to go through the cat door in the basement with churro, or with crunchy treats. Sorry, with greenies. There was already an opening in the door, but we actually reinstalled the cat door recently because during the summertime, we simply have to keep the basement door closed, or it will become nasty. And so we closed that, and we were like basically down there with him. Put the treat on one side of the door, made him figure out how to walk through, or like helped him through, and then went to the other side of the door, did the same thing on the other side. Did that 2 or 3 times. He was like a little reluctant to do it, but seemed to have the general idea that he could, push on the door with his head. And, kind of left it at that, said, okay, well, we'll do another training session later on. And later on, Brian just found him down in the basement on the other side of the door. So, apparently it worked just fine for him. He figured it out all by himself after one little training session with a few treats. And Cinna was, because she doesn't like treats, it was impossible to train her that way. But she saw Timony doing it a few times, refused to do it, right up until we had guests over. And then she panicked, and I guess, her like safe spot is down in the basement. I guess she was just panicked enough to go right ahead and try and force her way through the door, which of course worked, because that's exactly how you do it. It's literally the correct way. But then she hasn't done it again since. So apparently she requires panic in order to get through that doorway. You saw someone on Instagram who trained her cat to decide which medicine to take in order and to tilt its head back so she could open its mouth. Yeah, man, some cats are extra. Some cats are just really extra. That's impressive. The thing is, if a cat doesn't want to be trained to do a thing, it's simply not going to. It's simply not going to. All right. Oop. Trying to get some shadows blocked in here. It's working, I think. I think we're doing something here. Kind of seems like we're doing something. I believe we'll get there in the end. We usually do. Yeah, it's some serious next level cat training. I mean, I do think any cat can be trained to some extent. But some of them really are highly resistant and make it quite difficult and are not interested in making your life easy. All right, we got some little lights in here, some little windows. And down here we got a little brighter area, a little highlight up here. Do a little highlight up here. And a little highlight down here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, cats usually end up training their humans instead. That is absolutely true. I'm okay with being trained by cats for the most part. I think it's fine. Ah, no. We got a string, y'all. We got a string. Oh, okay. I do not want a stringy bit up there. So let's just get that right out of there. Okay. Let's try again with some fresh white, shall we? Just a tiny bit of gray in it to help soften that. I'm trying to like suggest the edges of the solar panels without totally outlining them. We're going slightly off the reference for this, but as soon as you sent your first howdy, you got a call. They launched from Florida. Yeah, I know Sneak was hoping to be able, Polished Bookworm was hoping to be able to see the launch from her house. But it was too cloudy. So they were not able to see it, unfortunately. Good teachers for patience in developing trust and consent. Took over a year before one of my adopted cats would sleep on our lap. Yeah. Yeah, this is why I am a little bit hesitant to trust people who don't like cats. It's one thing, like, if you're allergic to cats, that's totally understandable. Avoiding them is reasonable. I get it. But if you don't like cats, especially men who don't like cats, ooh, I fear that says something about you. And it's not something good. I'm sure that there are exceptions where, like, people have just had bad experiences with mean cats. That exists. That's a thing. You know, there's nuance, obviously, always, but we're gonna do a little extra there and then just back it off with something else here. So I feel like they're a little too subtle in there. Basically, nothing I ever say should be interpreted with a complete lack of nuance. Please, for the love of Pete. The base in this is Wildflower Lacquer Shattered from their Jeweled collection, which was a few years ago. I got that collection in PR before their rebrand to Royal Lee. It no longer exists, of course, which I think is a damn shame. I really love this polish. It is basically my ideal space base. Do a tiny little bit of cleanup. I got a little too much white around the sides of this one here. You are released after a 25-minute cuddle. You like most animals, you just don't usually come across cats who violate your personal boundaries, who have owners who refuse to do anything about it. Yeah. Yeah, that's not really a thing. It's very much a thing for dogs. To have owners that refuse to deal with behavioral issues. I mean, not that there aren't cats who have owners that refuse to deal with behavioral issues. There absolutely are. But they're not usually out walking around. They're not usually coming into your home. They're not usually, etc. So it tends to be less of a problem. The dads that say they don't want any pets, but they end up being the biggest sucker. Oh yeah, that's a different thing too, though. Yeah, treating cats the same way you treat dogs is not useful. Yeah, cat owners having control over the cats, not usually a thing. The only reason it's not a problem is because they're not usually out in public. And they're more likely to run away than to attack if they're having a problem. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with this little orbiter here. I think it looks decent at the moment. We're going to go back to the moon and do a little bit of detailing of a couple of the craters. Not a lot. I just want to make sure that I have like a couple of the more noticeable ones. To help people see where we are. Yeah, they aren't usually licking your face when you don't want to be licked. Yeah, that's not a common cat trait. It's not a non-existent cat trait, but it's not a common cat trait. Yeah, I've totally had cats that won't leave me alone. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just less common than having a, say, Labrador Retriever puppy that won't leave you alone. Okay. Let me get a couple of these little guys. Try to sort of indicate a slightly roundy shape if I can with some of these, with at least a few of them. If I can do that with at least a few of them, then it will go a long way towards giving us a sort of overall vibe of round impact craters. Yeah, no, you don't blame the dog for licking. You blame the owner for not doing what needs to be done to prevent a problem due to the dog licking. You know? At least if you're dealing with guests or whatever. The dog is not doing anything wrong. The dog just doesn't know that it's not an appreciated behavior. I'm basically never going to blame dogs for things like that. It's just, they're just being dogs. All right. Get some more, a little bit more of this darker stuff up around this side. Trying to sort of get little blobs around the edge where there's all those small, those tiny impact craters that you can see. I say tiny, but they're not really tiny. They're just smaller than the biggest, most noticeable ones. You got a meeting. All right, have fun. If that's possible. Okay. Now we need the lighter part of those spots. We need to do the highlights around the craters. And let's see here. Ah. Well, that was incorrect. It's okay. We can back that off. There we go. That's better. Cats are weird because you're just chilling with a high-level predator that can put you in the hospital from a bite or scratch. Yeah. The really cool thing about them is that they choose not to. They're like, not actually, I think I just want to chill with this human. This weird, big, stupid cat that doesn't know how to clean itself or catch prey. Okay. So, get some lighter spots up in here to try and highlight some of these lighter rims on the small craters. And I know it probably seems like I'm trying to be real detailed with this, but I'm actually not. I'm trying very hard to be not too detailed with it. While also sort of giving the impression of detail. Because if I start trying to do every single little crater, then we'll be here forever, and I will be frustrated. That's going to be too much. All right. And we'll just use this little cleanup brush to do a little dabbing and try and soften some of that a bit. Okay. You need to get your laundry. Hey, Indecrypted, welcome. Yeah, this is only a fraction of my power. It's true. I often feel like cats are really saying that. They're like, just remember, I could murder you if I wanted to. I also think that they do that to each other, which is always very entertaining when they're play fighting. The number of times I've seen Timony and Cinna play fighting, and Timony will just go a little bit too far, get a little too excited, and Cinna will just like basically pin him in a way that she's not even on top of him. She'll like, the other day she did this weird thing where she grabbed his ear with her claws from underneath and had him pinned against the sofa so he couldn't move his head at all. And she didn't do anything. She just sat there like that for a moment and then let him go. But but it was very much like a child, I will fuck you up sort of situation. Okay, I want to do a little bit of a lighter halo right along the edge here. Maybe a tiny bit more white. Let's just dab a little white in with this. Yeah, there we go. Just a little bit of a white fringe on this side. And then I want to do the opposite on the other side, where I want to just deepen it a tiny little bit. If it's not too dried. It is drying. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the cat's putting the one paw on the other's head in just like a dominance thing. Yeah. My brother used to do that to me. Bastard. He was really tall, so he would just put his hand on top of my head. So rude. Oh, you meant me with the moon details? No. No. The restraint is part of the thing, because if you try and do too much, then it can actually end up looking less good. All right. Now we want, let's see. It helps if you, it helps if you spell the word Earthrise properly. All right. Now I am going to use this older version as my inspo for this, because I think it's reasonable to do so. Wait, is this the older version? Maybe it's not. Maybe this is the newer one. This one's, yeah, okay. That's the one from 2018. That's okay. We're going to use that. That's fine. Did I bring blue? I did bring blue. I didn't bring green, though. I need to grab green. Ooh. Ooh, that knee. Okay. Gonna use some Shady Navy and Monstera from Hollow Taco for this. I think I can put away my Starly Crater for the moment. So we will do this as a mostly blue ball. And we'll do it right here. We'll start it as a blue ball. We begin with blue balls. A little bigger than is correct, but I want it to be visible, so I'm we're just gonna fudge the details a little, and I think that's okay. And then we'll get some green in here from the Monstera. Let's see. I think we'll here. A little bit of green here. There we go. And then we're going to let that dry for a second before we start adding some clouds and stuff. Oh, I should put a little on this side as well. There we go. I don't know if that's even going to show through. We'll see. What else are we going to need? We're going to need Artemis on our thumb. So, there's my Artemis image. That's not it. That's not it. There it is. The question is, how do we want to do her? I think she should be wearing an astronaut helmet, right? I feel like she should definitely be wearing a helmet. I also kind of feel like she should be kind of like, what if she's kind of like, here's her head. And then her body and tail. So she's just like, what if it's like this? Her tail would need to be way longer. What if she's like this? Make that head a little bigger. She's got a big head. I made her limbs too big, but I think we can kind of make it work. We'll just rough this in. Oh, I may have gone a little too far there. We'll see. Got great big ears. Great big ears. I'm not going to be able to fit a... yeah, her proportions are all wrong, y'all. I done fucked up. I don't know what this is, but it ain't a cat. I'll tell you that much. I think the butt end is okay. This is why we top coat before we start the art. See, that should be my opening theme song. I keep trying to get people to write a stream intro song for me. I have all these friends that make music. And they volunteer to do it, and then they don't. Oh, was Artemis a dude cat? All right, well, my apologies for misgendering the cartoon cat. I've never seen Sailor Moon. I have no idea. All the cats look female to me. All cats in general are girls in my head. You know how hard it is for me to remember that Timony is a boy? It's like fucking impossible. All right, let's go back to this. I've literally watched 0 episodes of Sailor Moon. Ever. Okay, this part is fine. We got a butt. Should I look up reference for cats? Do I know what a cat looks like? Let's see. Cat. Shrimp. Not Shremo. Shrimp. Can we get a cat shrimp? Not shrimp. Shrimp pose. What is wrong with you? Okay. All right, so obviously she's not going to be in a full shrimp pose, but in terms of proportion, this does at least give me a little more of a... So that's going to be the paws, the front paws. The shoulder is going to be like here. And the head's going to be like this. Okay, now it's Mewtwo, but with smaller hips. I've made Mewtwo. Oh my god, I fucked up the ear again. You know, it just goes to show you that just because you can do one good thing in art doesn't mean you can do anything you want. You can be both good and wildly shitty at art at the same time if you try hard enough. I'm like gonna end up going through my top coat on this. Everyone just calm down. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna get there in the end. I'm going to have to definitely add more of my base though. Oh my god, this head is still too big, y'all. Apparently the amorphous cat is Peggy's weakness, yeah. Look behind me. He's not behind me. He's right over there. And he's not in the right pose. Listen, nobody ever said I was going to be good at this, okay? This is like how you make yourself feel better if you are one of those people that says, I can't do nail art, I suck, I'm not like you people that can do good nail art. Look at this fucking horror that I have wrought. Look at it. Do not ever tell me that you can't do art. Because sometimes I can do art. And yet, here I am, making a fucking monstrosity. We all suck. Okay, look at that. It's almost a cat. It's almost a cat. What if I put an astronaut helmet on it? What if I put an astronaut helmet on it and that fixes everything? Yes, it's very clearly a cat. Head could be bigger. Shut the fuck up, Ray. Head could be bigger. Don't you do it. Yeah, the medieval cat portraits suddenly make sense. You can tell I never paint cats, huh? All right, listen. There's something clearly still wrong. But I don't know how to fix it without making it worse. Again. All right, there's going to be one paw here. And why don't we stick one paw out and just make it real confusing for everybody. The more confusing it is, the better I'll be able to just say, hey, you just can't tell what's going on because it's a confusing pose. Don't worry about it. Cats are liquid. It's fine. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in here. We're going to get some of this stuff. We're going to mix this shit up. We're going to get ourselves a little helmet. This is going to solve everything, y'all. We're going to get ourselves a little helmet. I'm telling you, this is how we fix it. This is how we come back from all of this fucking horror. We just need a big circle around the head. It doesn't even have to be an actual circle, apparently. It can just be whatever the fuck shape that was. And then it's magically going to make the anatomy of the rest of the cat irrelevant. If you ever wanted to see Peggy ride the struggle bus, this might be the best example of it that we've had. Have I ever struggled this much before in a live stream? I mean, I know I've struggled this much before in real life, but in a live stream, this might be my biggest struggle. And you get to see it happening live in front of your faces, you incredibly lucky people. When I tell people that the ability to paint detailed shit on a small surface is not about talent, it's about just a fuckload of work and like practice and fucking it up over and over and over again until you get better at it. This is exactly what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. I think we have an astronaut bubble. Maybe Nyan Cat would have been easier. Seriously. Am I doing more of these little kitties? Absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not. I'm just doing the one and never again. Never, ever again in my entire life am I going to paint a fucking cat. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. But it is true that this has been a memorably terrible experience. So but you know, we're getting through it. We're getting through it. Okay. The ears are not big enough is a thing that I'm realizing. That's okay though. I have some pink. I brought a little snowy plover out from Dimension Nails. This was one that I purchased back before they shut down. All right. Get some snowy plover on the inside of Artemis's ear. Artemis, who is a boy, apparently, which is a thing that I have learned. How can you tell? You can't tell. They didn't even give them, like, are any of the cats girls on this show, or are they all boys? Because they didn't even do Disney eyelashes to indicate. What is with the frickin' eyelashes anyway? The eyelashes and the weird big hips. The thing where you give animals boobs for no reason. Nail art is about being delusional enough to try. Absolutely. Luna and Diana are girls. That's the black and the gray, I assume. Okay. I'm gonna need a little bit of, I think we go back to the gray for this. To do like the little, that thing. And then the eyes are like ridiculously large. Why are the eyes so large? I can't. There's no way I'm going to be able to make these eyes like this. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. Peggy, you're going to have to actually get in there. You're not going to be able to just fudge these. You have to actually get in there. They have human forms? What do you mean I'm not automatically perfect at painting this thing I've never painted before with a medium that dries fast on a tiny surface? Exactly. Exactly. Okay, let's see here. We gotta get... I also noticed when I was looking up reference that like their eye colors seem to change a lot, and I don't know if that's just like a matter of who's rendering them, or... Don't worry, I know this looks like ass right now. Just give me a minute. Or if it's like that they're reflecting the sky, or what's going on. Because sometimes they seem to be purple, and sometimes they seem to be blue, and sometimes they seem to be like green, and I don't know what to do with that. I'm gonna do them blue because that's what I feel like doing. And I don't think that they're really even going to be particularly noticeable on this anyway. Yes, I realize I've made giant blue blobs. It's fine. It's fine, I promise. It's going to be fine. And why are their pupils white? Besides the fact that they are clearly not earth cats. Is this ever addressed? I assume not. They shouldn't be changing, might be fan artists. Cartoon females have eyelashes, cartoon males do not. Yeah, exactly. Sexual dimorphism of cartoons is such a weird thing. This is an official pic, so it's the right color. It looked official. So I decided it was probably correct. All right. Now I need a little yellow for his little moon. The pupils have light reflecting in them. The black is under the white. The humans look like that too? Okay. I believe you. Sounds like some crazy talk, but all right. As long as it's a stylistic choice, I'll accept it. Yeah, that's totally a crescent. Definitely a perfect crescent that I just made. Got a pink nose? You got a pink nose. Whoop, uh-oh. We got a little stringiness happening here. Have I done the other fingers already? Mostly. We got some detail to go back and finish up. But yeah, most of it is done. Nose. Bloop. Right there. Okay, now let's do a little work on this helmet. So for this, we're going to put a little, that's too much, cloud of some very, very, very translucent white. And I'm thinking, do I want a little bit of, thinking about whether it's a good idea to add any kind of a shimmer over this, or if that's just going to end up causing problems. I suspect it might end up causing problems. I feel like it's probably safer to just have the little bit of white so it looks like it's slightly shaped. Okay, and then we'll just tidy up around the edge of it a little bit. Give it a nice crisp edge. Every once in a while I remember that I'm actually trying to show this to people, and I will look up and see if I'm on screen, and sometimes I am absolutely not. And I apologize for those times. But in my defense, it is freaking hard to do. Especially when I've got my reference image overlaid on the screen as well. Okay, so that's that part. And then we need to tidy up this body. Am I having fun? I actually am. It is weird that the stuffies decided to ignore the pupils and just put white reflection minus the pupil detail. You want food, but you don't want to make it. That's a constant state right there. That is a constant state. Yes, frustration is actually fun for me, which I recognize is probably diagnostic. But yeah, this kind of thing where I work really hard on something and I fuck it up a lot, but eventually I get there. Very enjoyable to my brain. It's my favorite thing to do. Even though it probably seems like I want to freaking scream and throw things. Okay. Now, let's get some shadows in this. You wish you had cheese you could munch on and pretend it's a meal? I often will get myself a little piece of cheese. I keep Baby Bells in the fridge, and I will have what I refer to as thinking cheese. When I'm thinking about what I want to eat, I'll have a piece of thinking cheese. And I would say probably 20% of the time after having a piece of thinking cheese, I realize I don't actually want to eat anything else. I just wanted to have cheese. So that's a thing. And then there's another, probably 30 or 40% of the time where I realize that I'm just going to end up having cereal yet again. And then the rest of the time, other than that, I'll actually come up with an actual food. But yeah, there's a reasonably large proportion of the time where the thinking cheese does not lead to proper food. All right, where's the part that had? There's the part that had. I'm like trying to find the still wet area. Okay. See? Ye of little faith. I knew it was going to eventually turn into a cat. Someday. You all doubted me. I doubted me. Yeah, that was me doing that. But here we are. It's kind of a cat. It's kind of a cat, y'all. It's cat adjacent. Incredible. It's so late I might just eat popcorn. Yeah, valid. You made a deal with yourself when you were younger that you're only allowed to eat cereal one meal a day, otherwise it gets out of hand. Yeah, I will definitely sometimes eat cereal twice in one day. However, there are rules about what circumstances allow that and how many times a week I can do it. So mostly because what actually stops me most of the time is that Brian requires real food and I am the cook. I am the cook and he is the cleanup crew. And so he requires sustenance and I must provide it. There we go. There we go. Look at that. We did the thing. I feel like you can kind of tell what all the parts are. Hopefully. Cereal's your favorite quick food? Yeah. I keep two kinds of cereal as well, so that if I'm having a second cereal, the second cereal I will have is typically what I'll do is my morning cereal has to be like a healthy granola with protein and stuff in it. And then the second cereal of the day, if I have a second cereal, can be peanut butter Panda Puffs. Oh no, your hubby is the cook and cleans the food waste? He's leaving for a week? Man, I would just... Well, I mean, I know what I would do because I 100% survived off of absolute trash while Brian was in hospital. It was basically there were no veggie sticks back then, but it was cereal, Baby Bells. Nowadays there'd be veggie sticks. Yeah, I hadn't discovered the veggie sticks yet then. There's a Tim Hortons opening in Colombia. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. We don't need that. Call me a bad Canadian if you will. I don't like Tim Hortons. Well, it gives us an opportunity to not go there and not do it. Sure. What was I talking about? Before Brian started talking to me from the other room while I'm in the middle of stream. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember now what I was eating while you were in hospital besides cereal. I think it was mostly just cereal. Hospital food. I definitely ate some hospital food. A fair bit of hospital food, actually. They had these... Oh, yeah, those pretzel and hummus things, which are not good hummus, but if you're hungry enough, they are kind of acceptable. Those Sabra things. I was getting those for a while he was in hospital. They're bad. They're bad hummus. I am not a fan. Cash to eat out, yeah. Cheerios with frozen blueberries and frosted flakes. What are veggie sticks? They're not actually sticks. They're called veggie straws. It's a brand, or it's both a brand and a type of snack that's like kind of like, it's kind of like Cheetos except not cheesy. And they contain some amount of like beet and tomato and spinach and stuff, but they're not actually significantly healthier than any given potato chip or whatever. They actually say on the package like something like not a substitute for vegetables or something like that. I think they are like a puffed, extruded potato plus other stuff snack. I'm pretty sure that's the basic deal with them. Trying to get like the right amount of swirly cloudiness without being too much. I think we might be there. I feel like that's pretty good. Kind of like chips, but they're like in a straw shape. They're like little square straw kind of things. But like nutritionally, they're equivalent of chips. Yeah, like potato chips, but with other vegetables, but also they're like puffed and extruded. Okay. Let me close this. So we have here our moon and Earthrise. I think I might want to do a little bit of a little highlight along that interface there. And we've got our little lunar orbiter, a little capsule that all the astronauts are hanging out in. And then Artemis here. Also, why is Artemis called Artemis if he's a boy? Because that's a girl's name. That's a girl's name. Why is he named after a goddess? I'm just saying. It seems incorrect to me. I mean, I guess he's a cat, so it doesn't matter too much. And he's not even a real cat. He's like a... Are they aliens? What are they supposed to be? Someone help me out with this. Just a tiny little bit of a highlight along this edge here to help define this a little bit. A highlight on the moon side of things and a shadow on the earth side of things. There we go. Because a Japanese woman didn't understand that it was a girl's name. I mean, that's valid. They are a species called Mew? Like the Pokemon? I see. They're Pokemon. So Pokemon exist in the Sailor whatever universe. You've never watched Sailor Moon? Yeah, neither have I. I have no idea about any of this stuff. But I think this is cute. And I like this. And it hasn't even been a whole 2 hours yet. Yeah, I'm learning so much about Sailor Moon today. Some of it I'm just making up. They have human forms and cat forms, but these guys are trapped in their cat forms for most of the series because of memory loss. Alrighty. Well, there you go, y'all. There's a Sailor Mew. See, I'm telling you. Sailor Moon exists in the same universe as Pokemon. And the Sailor Moon cats are just weird versions of Mew. It's perfect. I do not yet have Mew in Pokopia. I did meet Mewtwo, though. But I haven't got all of the mysterious tablets yet to get Mew. Apparently that's how you get Mew. That's what I've heard. Oh, I see a hair. That's a cat hair. You want to watch some Sailor Moon now? You just thought they were around because girls like talking cats? I mean, that also seems very valid. Girls do like talking cats. It's pretty much universal. Talking cats, horses. What else do girls like? Cup of tea. Well, Mewtwo hasn't like moved in or anything. There's like some of the Pokemon, they'll like show up for certain events, and I don't know if they ever actually come to like live with you or if they just show up. I've been trying not to consume too much of the like plot based stuff for Pokopia. Hey, Belly, you have no idea what conversation you walked into, but the nails are gorgeous. Thank you. And I have just discovered that, or I have just determined, I suppose I have just invented lore that Pokemon exist in the Sailor Moon universe because the Pokemon, or the Sailor Moon cats are basically Mew. Unicorn. Yep. Yeah. That's, I mean, I feel like that's an extension of horse, but yeah. Cats, girls like unicorn. Belly, we were doing some Artemis mission nails, and then Ray asked to have Artemis from Sailor Moon be included in the mani, and so I did. But then I don't know anything about Sailor Moon, so I've been learning. You actually think I'm correct? See? I'm telling you. It's real. Also, we have Timony Cricket asleep on stream. He's been basically sleeping the entire time. He's being a very good boy. Thursday stream. What am I doing? Do I have anything for Thursday stream? I don't think I have any. I don't think I have any specific plans for Thursday stream. What if Timony is Mewtwo? Mewtwo or Mew? Also, Mew, comma 2. You came home and Shadow has taken over your work keyboard? Well, he's right to do that. Yeah, Timony could also be a Mew. What if all cats are a Mew? It seems like it would be reasonable. And then, like, big cats would all be Mewtwo species. Mew, comma 2. Yeah, so if anyone has suggestions for Thursday stream, I do not have anything decided yet for that. So go ahead and drop suggestions in the Discord. Otherwise, I guess I'll just come up with something. I don't know. I mean, we could do florals for spring. Groundbreaking. That's true. They do need a moon on their forehead. But, you know, he's a tabby. They have sort of designs on their forehead that, in theory, you could, you know, squint and find a moon shape somewhere in there. Also, maybe it's just covered with the fur. Wait, do the Sailor Moon cats have fur, or is that just their flesh? Is that a horrible question? Do they canonically have fur? Can you ever see the fur? Because I don't see fur in the photo of them. Shadow and Jackie, the bald eagles, not egos, just hatched their babies. They do have fur, canonically. All right, I believe you. I'm going to trust you on that. Their fur gets messed up when they're shown grooming? Okay, cool. It's a valid question. I'm just saying. If you can't tell if they have fur and they're not actually real cats or an actual Earth species, then who knows? You're doing cherry blossom with isolated gold chrome if you shake off your current malaise because the cherry tree behind your house is about to blossom and you need it on your nails. That does sound nice. I did cherry blossoms. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago that I painted them. Maybe last week that I painted them. I can't remember, but I posted them a couple of days ago. I think I posted them on Sunday. Yeah, I posted them on Sunday. Hi, baby boy. Oh, he woke up. He's so sleepy. Oh, he's such a sleepy baby. Yeah. What a good boy. Just a good boy. Oh, what a good baby. Yeah. Oh, big yawn. Oh, he's such a good boy. Oh, the species name is actually Mao, not Mew. Well, damn, I guess you're just a fake fan. Terrible. You're going to have to give back your fan cred card or something. Shame. Shame the fake fan who slightly gets a name in the universe incorrect. Oh, so many yawns. It's a little past treats time. So I think actually, babe, they didn't get treats yet, right? Do you want to give him treats on camera? If he'll stay still? If he doesn't jump up and run over there to get them? He's got very attentive ears. Oh, the baby. The baby. Yes, he's a good boy. Oh, he's gonna go. He's gonna go because he heard the treats happening. We'll see if... I'm sure that Brian can get him back. It'll be a perfect way to end stream, I think. We'll get him back once Brian has all the treats out. Yeah, so Thursday... yeah, yes. I mean, they have good hearing, and it is just in the next room. Thursday stream, let me know what you want to do. Otherwise, I will just figure something out. But, you know, if you have a brilliant idea, holler in the Discord. Press all of the appropriate buttons down there. Well, it's not even about where he opens the treats. The treats live in the other room, and he definitely had not even opened them yet. By the time the child got up and ran in, all he had done is go into that room and open the cabinet they're in. I guarantee he hadn't even grabbed the bag yet. He just knows. So, yeah, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, do all that good stuff. Tell a friend sometime this week about stream. Timony, you got to come here and have your treats on stream. The people are waiting for you.
Come on, you need to be
up on the chair.
Come on, you need to be a cat treat influencer. Come on.
Maybe we can get maybe we can get Temptations to sponsor me. Yeah, that's a good boy. Oh, what a good baby. What a good boy. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Oh, you dropped a piece.
Oh no, you're gonna have to clean that up. Last one? Last one. Good boy. You missed a little.
Get it. Good boy.
What a good baby boy. You did such a good job being a stream star today. Yeah.
Way to nap in front of the camera, dude.
Excellent work. Yeah. Yeah, I think he got like 5.
Yep.
This is good stuff. Oh, he's so happy. Oh, he's so happy. Oh, he's such a good boy. Yeah. All right. That's going to be it, y'all. I'll see you on Thursday. Anyone who can make it. And your roommate has trained his cats to come when called at bedtime to get treats. He says Barnaby bedtime? That's adorable. Yeah, they also get treats when I come upstairs for bed at night. Cricket had his first birthday in March. He still has some filling out to do. He's definitely sort of in that that lanky teenager sort of phase. All right, I'm going. I'll see y'all on Thursday. Have a good one.